Hi you guys, Designer BreeKel here with a new video for you. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you easy and simple techniques on how to sew a t-shirt. With these techniques, you should be able to sew a t-shirt within 30 minutes to an hour or even less than that. I am a local fashion designer. I've received my degree in fashion design and in technical apparel. So if you're interested in all things sewing, fashion, and design, please hit subscribe. If you are interested in buying a sewing pattern for a t-shirt, it is available on my website over on designerbreekels.com. Or if you would like to learn how to make your own pattern, I am starting a Patreon at an affordable cost. So I will teach you how to make your own pattern. I'll link all the information down below. I also wanted to show you some t-shirts I've made. This one that's on the dress form is made out of neoprene or scuba neoprene with a denim broken heart. This shirt that I'm wearing is a bow t-shirt, my signature bow t-shirt. It was in my other collection as well, and it will be part of my new collection coming this spring. Now let's go ahead, let's get sewing, let's get creative. Alrighty, so it looks like I have 1 yard left of this white jersey fabric. I'm going to be making a men's t-shirt. And this fabric, it does look like it's about 60, maybe 63 inches wide. So that's why I'm able to fit all of my pieces on. If you have a less wider fabric, then I would count maybe getting 1.5 yards to be safe. But I'm just going to go ahead, cut this out, and I will go on to the next step. I did just make a men's button up with it. If you'd like to see that video, I will link it above here. This fabric is 60 inches wide, so that's why I'm able to fit all of my pieces on. If your fabric is smaller in width, then I would suggest getting 1.5 yards. I'll go ahead and cut this out and then show you the next step. I have all of my pieces cut out at the front, back, and sleeve. I just want to make sure when you are cutting out your sleeve, make sure, well, any pattern piece really, but make sure that you clip your notches. The 2 is for the back, 2 notches is the back, and the 1 notch is for the front. Clip your notches, this part is very important. Another thing I want to mention is when you clip your notches for the front and back, personally for me, I like to clip the center or the middle of the sleeve, so that way this middle piece will go right into your shoulder seam to make it completely even when sewing it. First step, I am going to go ahead and sew my shoulder seams together. So I have a seam down center back. That's just the design style that I'm going for. But this is the front, this one's the back. Make sure to put right sides together, and then I am going to use my serger and completely sew it closed. Okay, the fastest way on sewing the t-shirt sleeve is, so I went ahead and I closed my shoulder seam. I have my front and back laid out flat, right side up like you see here. I have my sleeve now. I'm going to make sure I have the front notch, which is 1 notch towards the front, and then the back notch, which is two of the little clippies towards the back. And then I personally like to clip the center. I see my clip is right here. I'm going to have my seam allowance fold towards the back. Okay, I'm going to try this with one hand, but so the center clip that I told you about, I'm going to put that on top of the shoulder seam. I'm going to have 1 pin right there, and then I'm going to feed it through with my hands. So you really don't need any pins for this. It is pretty simple and easy. If your fabric is slippery, I would suggest, you know, when you start off, you can have your hands, but I would suggest having one pin match up to the back. Okay, the best way on how to sew a sleeve on a t-shirt fast is, so I have the center of the sleeve, I have that little notch I told you about. I'm going to pin it right on the shoulder seam. That's really the only pin I'm going to use, and you can use one to end with, but you would only really need it if you have slippery fabric you're working with. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just sew along the seam line and hold it in place with my hands. So I'll put I have the two corners that are matching. I'm going to put this under the serger, and then I'm going to guide it with my hands. And of course, here are my back notches. It's on the back side of my t-shirt. And then I'm going to make sure this is completely flat. Go ahead and sew over the middle. And then for the rest, I'm going to guide and have the two edges, the sleeve and the shoulder edge, match together. And then you can hold the end of the edges together like this to help you finish. Essentially what you are pretty much doing is you're stretching the body, and then just only a little bit. You don't want to stretch it too much, or it won't come out straight when you sew it. So just barely kind of like hold it, and then have the sleeve relax, and then let it sew. All right, and here is our first sleeve. Okay, when you're done sewing your sleeve on, this is what it looks like. It's completely opened up. You don't have your side seams closed. Now, if you want the folded up sleeve look, an easier way to do that is to first fold it, stitch across, you know, press it, stitch across, and then close your sleeve and your side seam all in one seam. So I'm going to go ahead, press this, sew this close, and then next we will sew our neckband. Coming along great, you guys. Alrighty, you guys, we are going to sew on the final step of our t-shirt, which is the neckband. I have mine all set, ready to go. I had a back seam. Back seams are obviously optional. Just for this design of the shirt, I wanted a back. So I'm going to go ahead and measure the circumference of my t-shirt. If you already know your neckband's measurement, go ahead and cut that out. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and measure it. I got Callie here. Hi, Callie. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. All right, the front is 10 inches, and then the back, let's see, the back, it's about, let's see here, it's about 18 and a half. So for my fabric, I'm going to go ahead and take off 2 inches. If your fabric is super stretchy, I would take off 3. So let's go 1, 2. So 16 and a half is going to be the measurement of the bottom side of my neckband. And then the fold part is going to be I would do about an inch or two smaller than that. I'm going to go ahead and cut out my neckband so you can see what I mean. And doing this will help so it fits, so the edges of the bottom half, the edges will fit the bottom, and then when it goes up into your neck, fit your neck better. So let me go ahead and cut it out. It'll make more sense. Okay, I got a scrap piece of fabric. I went ahead and cut it on the fold. Right here's the fold. Went ahead and folded it, pressed it on the fold to make it a little bit easier for me to cut out. And then I remeasured the neck, circumference of the neck on my t-shirt, and it was actually 20 inches. So now I went ahead and made a piece of scratch fabric of 20 inches, and then make sure you cut it on the direction of the greatest stretch, so it has a lot of stretch to it. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take off 2 inches, so an inch on this side, an inch on this side. So I marked an inch and an inch, and then for the top part that will fit more into your neck, not on the seam, but into your neck on where the fold is, I'm then going to measure over about an inch and a half, and then I'm going to make it more at a diagonal right here. So I'll cut right there, and then same on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and measure over 1.5 inches, just right here. Oh, wait, let's see. Let me double check this really quick. Yeah. 1.5, 1.5. And then I'm going to make this as a curve as well. And the reason why you want the top of the neckband to go in is so that way it will fit around your neck better, around the top of your neck better, if that makes sense. So I'll go ahead, cut this at an angle, cut this at an angle, open it up, because here's our fold line. And then I'm going to put this together. In the middle right here is our fold line. I'm going to sew that closed. And then when I flip it inside out, it'll look like this. And then it should fit your neck perfectly. And it will fit the seam of your shirt perfectly. Alright, so I went ahead and I sewed this close, and then another little tip and trick is to clip two, not through the seam. Now what I'm going to do is fold this close. You can either have it go left and right and then fold it, or you can open it, and I just use a straight stitch, but if you want to serge it closed you can. But I'm going to go ahead, fold it together to make our neckband completely straight. Alright, and then here is our neckband. And then this will have a little bit of a point, but when you sew it, you can just curve it out and correct it. And then I would straight stitch this completely closed and then serge it on. And then you're going to pin it evenly around your neck on your t-shirt. So I'll go ahead, sew that in, and then we're pretty much done. Alrighty, here is the final t-shirt. I'm going to leave the hem unsewn, but if you want a hem, you just fold it in and sew it closed. Typically, when you are sewing a hem for a t-shirt, you would use a chain stitch or a cover stitch. I just barely did an unboxing video of a new sewing machine I just got. I will link the video right here. Go check it out. Now, do you see how the collar here, how the fold goes up more? That is what I mean where it's going to fit your neck better. But here's the final t-shirt, but comment down below if you have any questions. Okay guys, that will do it for today's video. If you have a question for me, please leave it down in the comments. I would love to be a resource and help in any way that I can. Also, if you are interested in a sewing pattern for the t-shirt, that is available on my website over on designerbreekels.com. And if you'd like to learn how to make your own pattern, head over to my Patreon. I'll link everything in the description. This shirt is available. This is part of the new collection. I want to see your guys' t-shirts. Go ahead and share it on your Instagram stories. And be sure to tag me over at Designer BreeKels. And I would be so happy to share you back. All right, let's go ahead and enjoy some bloopers. I have my sleeve pattern and all my other patterns are ready to go and cut out. Oh, hi Callie. I have all of my pieces cut out in Callie. New video for you. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how Hi guys, Designer BreeKel here with a new video for you. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to play with it. Get calories. I hope you've enjoyed those bloopers and enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the new one. Stay creative.